Here's the perfect car to start off Mecum Orlando 2022. My dream car, 1987 Buick GX. This is a real GX. This is number 422 of 547 built. As you can tell, these are highly sought after cars now. It's definitely a six-figure car. As you can tell, what makes this the difference from the Grand National is the wider fender flares and also the fender vent on the front fenders right here. And also on the GNXs, they were also individually numbered like this one is. This number 422. So you see on the dash, number 422 of 547. The interior is exactly the same as you've seen at Grand National. They all had automatics with a 3.8 liter V6 turbo, obviously, but I think the GNXs had a slightly bigger turbo. But these are the ultimate cars. These are actually faster than the 87 Corvette. Only time GM produced a car that was faster than the Corvette was right here. It's never happened since. This is my ultimate dream car, pick of the auction right here. In case you're curious about the mileage. There's your mileage. Only 55 actual miles on this car. It's totally original. Also, they give you a nice front shot of the car. On these cars, there's a traction bar that runs from front to back. That's only on GNX cars. Not even on Grand Nationals or T-Types. So that's the only real reason you can tell if it's a real GNX or not, if it has that traction bar that runs from front to back. Because you can buy aftermarket fenders and fender flares for your Grand National to make it look like a GNX, and even the wheels. And these are GNX wheels. These are also the same wheels you see on the Turbo Firebirds as well. But truly a nice car, all original car, and fully documented as well. Here it is, another favorite of mine, 1978 Pontiac Trans Am. Special edition, but of course you may know this as the Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am with the black and gold trim. Has a screaming chicken on the hood. This is a frame off restoration car. It only has less than 500 miles since the restoration. But this is, on these Trans Ams, you had two types of T-tops. You had a Fisher body T-top and you had the Hurst T-top. This is that Hurst T-top car, which is mostly preferred amongst Trans Am guys. I think the Fisher one was prone to leak a lot. But this is a real deal 78 Trans Am car. This is a real Hurst Shelby Mustang that Hurst offered to the public in '65, in the mid-'60s at least. And it did come with a factory supercharger from Shelby right here. I saw factory stuff from Shelby back in 1965. It's a truly rare car. I know these were mostly black and gold. This is probably the rarest combination of the white and gold. Yeah, Hurst GT350 was these. Also, the common problem with these, people would buy them and swap the motor out and put like a stock 350, put like a stock 302 from a regular Mustang into them and keep the original motor. So that's why, kind of the reason Hurst stopped doing these cars, because they would actually swap the motors out. And also, people would take them to the drag strip or to the local road course track that they had and race them and bring them back on Monday morning. So this is quite a liability for Hurst to do these cars. And later on, Hurst also did Corvettes and Camaros more recently, but this was kind of like kicked everything off right here. I know when you think Lamborghini mid-80s, you think Countach, but there's actually another model you may have forgot about, the 1985 Lamborghini Jalpa. I've never seen one of these in person, and I don't know what the production number was, so I'm sure they're low. But this was like, if you could not afford a Countach, but you still wanted a Lamborghini, this is what your option was in 1985. Now, this is a target top version. It does have the same similar stylings of a Countach, but it's just a miniature version almost. Lamborghini Jalpa. Inside you see the gated shifter, tan leather interior. Dash looks really good. It's not cracked or anything like that. Very well taken care of. I'm sure it was in somebody's collection for a while. Alright, here's a more commonly seen Buick Grand National. This is a 1987. Same year as that GX, but here is, you can kind of see the major differences between that and the Grand National. See, these aren't as wide as a GX, and there's no fender vent right here. But it still has, as well as the 3.8 liter V6 with the turbo. The 87s did come intercooled. As well, between the difference between an 86 and 87, 86 had a silver bar in the center of the grille, which 87 they're all the same. They're all black. This only has 33,000 original miles, but it's very well kept. And these are the factory Grand National wheels that you would get. Still the same interior as a GX. The Grand National, same things. Same black and gray interior with the logo. As you can tell, the Grand National does not have a number sequence on the dash like the GX does. It just has the regular normal Buick logo, as you would see in the Regal or T-Type. But still, it's a very well kept car. Very nice car. These are prices that are going up on these cars, especially on the Grand Nationals, because they're more commonly known, more common. They're not as rare as the GX, so they're getting around the 70,000 and up mark, especially for a nice Survivor like this one. Now this is a 57 Chevrolet Cameo, but what's significant about these trucks? In 1955, when they came out, these were the original fleet side trucks. Prior to that, they were step side. So what GM did, they wanted to take the styling from their Bel Air cars and put it into trucks. So what they did, this is actually a fiberglass outside, but inside it is a metal insert. So whatever you wanted to put cargo and stuff inside, you still had the durability of a metal bed with a wood floor. But on the outside, you still had the styling looks of a Bel Air on a truck. These are pretty cool trucks. Very nice original, very nice restored truck with a white interior with a blue accents as well. 3 on the column, vintage air AC, which is a very nice upgrade for these trucks. But very nice show truck if anybody would like to have this thing. 1957 Chevrolet Cameo. Here's kind of a cool piece, even though it's not a real deal. It's a replica. This is a replica of Ken Miles' Mustang that he drove for Carroll Shelby. As coach, you know Ken Miles from the Ford vs Ferrari movie, which made his name a household name. But these Mustangs, it's even replicated the vent like you have in the rear window of these Mustangs, is like you would have in a GT350. Of course, a stripped down interior, dash signed by Carroll Shelby, 4-speed manual, of course with some modern touch, with some more comfortable seats that would be less likely that would be in the race car, but there are now leather bucket seats. It's a 302.9 289, but this is kind of what you saw back in the day before, of course, 302 and Trans Am racing was the limit. You can have no engine bigger than a 5-liter. So Ford had a 302 and so did GM. But this is a very nice, correct car, even though it's not a real GT350 from 1965. The Terlingua Mustang logo. This is a play on the Ferrari logo that Carroll Shelby came up with to make fun of Ferrari. As you can tell, it has the yellow background with the black logo, which in the Ferrari, of course, you have the prancing horse. On here, it's a rabbit to make fun of Enzo Ferrari's team. Of course, I think the real one sold at Mecum Kissimmee not too long ago as well. But here's a replica of that car that Kim Miles drove. Alright, these are awesome trucks. This is a 1993 GMC Typhoon, which basically has very similar drivetrain to a Grand National, except that it's a 4.3-liter V6, which is basically a tuned-out version of a 3.8 that was in the Grand National. And also, these are also all-wheel drive, which the Grand National obviously didn't have. But with these trucks, you had a sister car, which was the Cyclone. And these are very highly collectible now. There you see the 4.3-liter turbo V6. These are awesome trucks. Typically, you don't see these in red. You can see them with the black, or it'd be a two-tone where it's black up here or another color on the bottom. Usually, if you see these in red, they have very rare models that are the Marlboro edition, which were used as a sweepstakes for cigarette Marlboro brand. But it's very rare you see a red Typhoon with a black leather interior, very nicely well kept. This only has like very little mileage. As you can see on the only 14,000 original miles, only 101 built with the red apple red exterior paint. Very well preserved, very well maintained. Awesome trucks. It's pretty awesome. They have one of these here. These are very collectible cars right now. This is a 2006 Ford GT with the blue and white livery on it. These are crazy expensive right now, or they have been for a while. These would actually go for like $500,000 or in that range at least, 6 figures guaranteed. These were powered by like the 5.4-liter supercharged V8. Still had the retro looking dash from the original Ford GTs, but with a modern touch to them. These were also, if you want to know a quick Easter egg on these cars, because these cars were meant to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Ford. Here's your Easter egg. The turn signal looks like a 1, and you have the 2 lights here that represent 100. So 100th anniversary of Ford was meant to commemorate a little Easter egg in the headlights. White with a blue stripe. Ford GT. Now, if you ever play Gran Turismo or anything like that back in the late 90s, you would know what this car is. This is a 1996 Ford Escort Cosworth. This is like WRC royalty right now. You see these in like, only thing you were missing is like an Audi Quattro and a Lancia Stratos. This is like the car to beat in WRC back in the late 90s. As you can see, it was driven by Carlos Sainz, which is the father of Carlos Sainz. You see in Formula One driving for Ferrari. This is a stripped down, ready to roll Ford Cosworth Escort. As in the States, we got a version of this called the Mercure, which is a very similar car to this, but it's basically sold as Mercure was the brand, but it was basically the same car. As you can see in the back, has the roll cage in it with the fuel cell, the famous double wing. Very cool setup here. Here you go. Here's a quick inside. The shifter, all the knobs and gauges, racing seat. Very period correct rally car from the late 90s. From Carlos Sainz, WRC World Rally career. Pretty awesome to see something like this. You don't see this, especially at Mecum. You don't see stuff like this a lot. Very cool. Now, if you're a Back to the Future geek like me, you gotta know what this is. No, it's not the DeLorean, but it's the second most famous car in that whole series. Here it is, the Toyota Hilux that Marty McFly drove. Well, this isn't the actual one from the movie, but this is a replica of the one he drove in the first two movies. As you can remember, Marty McFly and Jennifer were going to the beach that weekend before everything went haywire. And of course, it's nice and shiny. Of course, Biff took a lot of coats of wax on this thing to get it nice and clean. Still has the KC lights on it. Very period correct to what it was in the movie. And it's just a nice Toyota Hilux. These are like, you can't kill these. Even Top Gear tried, they still couldn't do it. But these are very nice trucks. If you remember in the part 2, he raced needles in the this truck as well and threw it in reverse to avoid an accident. But here it is, replica of that truck. Now, this is awesome. This special piece right here, 2018 Dodge Demon. These were like 1 year only cars. They only made a certain amount of them. This was like the end all be all modern muscle cars. When everybody was going to hybrid and electric, Dodge was like, screw you, we're gonna build like the most badass muscle car ever. And here it is, 808 horsepower Dodge Demon. Now with these cars, you can actually get for like $1 more. You get a crate with slicks, with like skinny tires in the front, slicks, jack, and a impact gun, everything. And also you have it available to delete the passenger seat and the back seat for an extra $1. But this one actually just has this has the back seat as well. You can't see it because it's dark, but also he actually had a computer to switch over to race gas if we needed to. And it has line lock, launch control, all the extra stuff you need to go in a straight line. These actually do pull a wheelie at the starting gate when you have it all prepped for drag racing, which is the only factory car able to pull a wheelie. But 2018 Dodge Demon. And when you see one on the street, the big giveaway is the hood. Dodge Demons only have this straight line hood scoop on it. The Scat Packs and the other versions have like a like 2 separate hood scoops in the front or a different design. But the Demon only has that one long hood scoop on the front. Alright, before the SUV craze really took off, we had station wagons to get our families around. I've never seen so many Pontiac station wagons and Chrysler station wagons and all in the same place. This is pretty crazy. All of them have the wood paneling on them. Chrysler New Yorker. There's another American Motors. There's a couple of Oldsmobile station wagons with the wood paneling on them. All low mileage, all great condition. All one collection here. Here's another blue one to match. Here's the end of the collection. Right here is another AMC station wagon. That is all one collection here at Mecum, Orlando. Here's a very Florida appropriate car. This is an Amphicar 7070. This was built in 1964. Now the 770 refers to the speed of the car at 7 miles per hour on water, 70 miles an hour on the highway. Now, what you do with these to make it watertight, there is a knob, like a latch on the side. You crank it tight, and it squeezes the door into the side of the car to make it watertight so there ain't no water in the leak inside. And you pull that lever back on the side there, and it actually turns the motor on in the back for the propellers. And it can be buoyant. It can float in the water, which is pretty cool. There is a huge Amphicar club in the Mount Dora, Eustis area. Here's the propellers for the back. There's your rudders. Very cool. So you can have a boat and a car all in one, no trailer needed. Pretty cool deal. And also there's a festival, a classic boat festival they held every year in Mount Dora. Oh, it varies. And they have like a ton of these things that come out every year. I actually have a video of that on my YouTube page if you want to check that out. There's like 40 Amphicars crossing the Lake Tavares. But yep, 1964 Amphicar. Here you go. This is the 1969 Dodge Charger that was used in Fast and Furious 7. Of course, we know Fast and Furious 7 was the last one with Paul Walker in it. This was actually a green screen used car that was used during filming. It doesn't say if it was driven by Vin Diesel or anything like that, but here's what the inside looks like. It's pretty much gutted for what you can see, with 2 couple racing seats. There's your shifter. A couple of lines going to it. Strip down the back, have your battery. It's basically a stunt car. This blower is fake. It's not actually a functioning blower. It's just there for looks. But it's still pretty badass. Fast and Furious 7 Dodge Charger.
$165,000 for the last call. Close me, $160,000 and bid goes on. Yes, 110, 120, 120, 30, 40, 150, 60, 160 band, and I'm going to do 170,000 out of here. I do 170 band, 180. I do 180 band, and I'm going to do 190 band. I do 190 band, 200,000 out of here. I do 190 band, and I'm going to do 200. I do 190 band, and I'm going to do 200,000 out of here. I do 190 down 2. I do 190 band, and I'm going to do 200. 190 band, 200,000 out of here. I do 190 band, 2. I do 190 band, and I'm going to do 200. I do 190 band, 200,000.